Hey everyone, it's a Tastemaker, and today I am doing a storytime video. Today is my first storytime here on my channel, and I thought it would be fun to do because this night has to be the most memorable night of my life. It was actually really fun, and I'm glad that I lived to tell the freaking story. So this is something that happened to like me and my best friend. Back in I think I was in 10th or 11th grade, I'm not really sure, but I think it was like somewhere around that time, right? So anyway, high school basically. So there was this party that me and my best friend wanted to go to, and it was out in Inglewood, and it was just like this huge party. And this was around the time like when jerking was like really big. Like, y'all remember jerking, right? Like everybody used to jerk, and I was a part of like a little jerk crew and everything. Like so freaking funny. Anyways, so yeah, so we go to this party or whatever, and I just remember it being like so many people. I just remember it being like so many people going to this party. It was hundreds of like teenagers, and it was like you had to enter through this alley or whatever, and then you go up these stairs, and it was almost like a warehouse kind of setting. Like it was just a big old room, like a warehouse without the boxes. So anyway, so I go in, and they got lights. They got you know, like those lights that make your eyes like turn like a different color. Okay, you guys remember like Cisco's thong 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 video? I know that's so funny. Some of y'all probably too young to know about that, but anyways, Cisco's thong video, when they had like their different color eyes, like that's the kind of lights that they had in this party, and I thought it was so dope. They had fog machines and everything, girl. And it was so funny because I was really rude back then. Like I was so freaking rude. I remember this guy was like trying to dance with me. I took my phone and I put the light to his face, and I was like, don't touch me. I told the boy not to touch me, and I didn't want to dance with him. I was so freaking mean. Like I could never do nothing like that now, but like looking back, I'm like, dang, I was such a bitch. Anyway, so I did that to a couple of guys that night anyway. So finally I finally like, you know, started dancing or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like I would say we was there maybe about 20 minutes. And when I say this party was lit, it was so freaking lit. Like I will never forget this day. All of a sudden I hear like a bunch of ruckus and stuff, and they said like they turn the lights on, they stopped playing the music and everything. And I'm like, dang, like the party just got started. Like what happened? So basically, I don't know, somebody got into a fight, or oh no, that's what it was. There was a noise complaint, and the police were actually outside, and they said that we had to shut the party down. Because I remember like when I was leaving from there, like it was a bunch of police in the alleyway, because remember I told you guys it was like in the alley how you entered. So when we had came downstairs, like first everybody like mad, like man, because you know back then, I mean people still do it now, but it was, you had to pay to get into that party, and it's like no refunds, like so you just pay to get in for nothing. But like girls, you know, we don't have to pay. Anyway, so I go downstairs, and then I hear click, 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 and I'm like, what the hell? I look around, somebody being tased, the police tasing people, like telling everybody, you guys need to leave, da da da, like yelling at us. And mind you, like we teenagers. It's not like this was like a party full of like, you know, grown people. Like these are somebody's kids. So basically they shut the whole thing down, police everywhere, telling everybody to go home. And then they was basically harassing a bunch of people, like banging, putting them on the cars, like just doing the most. And I was still having a good time. And so my best friend was asking them like, you know, what's next, like if y'all know of any other parties going on tonight, because we wanted to go to another party, because my other homegirl that was with us, she had a car. So we was like, you know, we was trying to figure out what was the next move, but she ended up having to go home. Something happened where she just decided to go home. So, and she stayed in Inglewood, and that's where this was. So she ended up going home or whatever. Then me and Ty, we didn't have a car, so we ended up just taking the bus, right? So as we're walking to the bus stop, after we find out like there's no other parties to go to, like it's so many of us, like it was so crazy. It was like a parade. Like that's how it felt. Like it was like a parade of us just walking down the street, and of course the police are harassing us because there's a bunch of black kids in the hood. I mean, it's Inglewood, and so they harassing us or whatever. So we finally get to the bus stop, right? Because we waiting for the bus to go back towards Hollywood, because at the time I used to stay in, like Tyler, she stayed in Hollywood and I stayed in Los Feliz, but they were like right here, like Hollywood and Los Feliz basically the same thing. So anyway, So we're about to, we're waiting for the bus or whatever, and there was these two guys that was walking with us to the bus stop. So we finally get to the bus stop, and then all of a sudden we hear, and that's like the police car, if y'all know. So anyway, so the police car drives in front of us while we sitting at the bus stop, and then they get out of the car all aggressive. My voice is going out. But yeah, so they get out of the car like extra aggressive, and like, they got their hands on the like on their holster or whatever, like walking up. Like, I'm like, are they about to shoot them, or like, are they about to shoot us? Like, what's about to happen? So they go up to the guys and they like, did you guys just come from IHOP? And we all was like, no, we just came from a party down the street. And he was like, well, the police officer, they was like, oh, well, we had a complaint that somebody had a what is it called, a dine and dash. We got a complaint that somebody dined and dash, and we fit your y'all fit the description or whatever. So, and the guys was like, well, we didn't go to IHOP. And he was like, all right, well, we about to find out. So they put the guys in the car, and mind you, the bus stop is like here. So the bus stop is here, and say this is like a parking lot, right? We're like at one end of the parking lot, and IHOP is in that same parking lot but behind. So they made them walk to the IHOP just for them to say, no, those weren't the guys. Like, what? Like, just assholes, just pure assholes. So by the time they get back, our bus comes or whatever. So me and Ty, we get on the bus. So long story short, we finally get to Hollywood, right? And so at this point, like, it was too late for me to go home. Like, I already knew better. Like, it was way too late. I think it was probably about like 12 o'clock or something like that. But when you like 15, 16, you're not supposed to be out of the house. You're supposed to be in the house by 10 o'clock, if anything. Well, at least that's how my household was. So anyway, I'm like, I can't go home. So Tyler was like, all right, well, just come to my house. So she was supposed to be sneaking me into her house, right? So she gets home. Her dad wasn't tripping off the fact that she was there. So she had me, like, how her apartment is, or like at that time, like she had me wait in the back of the apartment, and then she went through the little hallway door to like go in, and she stayed on the first floor. So she like about to go in the house or whatever. And then, so she finally gets in the house. Her dad is like, I hear her and her dad talking or whatever. And then she walks outside, like once he like lays down or something, she walks outside to come get me to like come have me come in. So for some reason, he decided that he was gonna come out of his room, and he came back to the front door, and then he was like, oh, hell nah, y'all, I don't know what kind of shit y'all think y'all got going on here. Like, he started tripping out. Mind you, like, this is like my best friend. Like, her dad is just, he's a character. That's all I have to say about him. Yeah, he is a character. And basically, he told us, like, we can't, like, neither one of us can stay there. Like, we're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. Like, he kicked both of us out. Like, he did not let us stay at the house. So I'm sitting here like, oh my god, bitch, like, what are we gonna do? So she was like, all right, well, let's just take the bus and we can go back to Ice's house or whatever, which is should I be saying names? All right, well, it don't matter. All right, we should go back to Ice's house. So I'm like, all right. So we walk in, and mind you, she's staying in Hollywood. So Hollywood in general has like a lot to do. You can pretty much like walk around if you want to or whatever. So after we leave from her dad's house, we're trying to figure out where we gonna go. She calling everybody. I can't call nobody because I mean, we kind of know like the same people too, because we went to the same school. So anyway, we walk in Hollywood or whatever, and I guess we kind of let time get away. I just remember being so freaking cold because, mind you, we were at a party. Like, I wasn't dressed to be outside. Like, I was dressed to be in the party, like dancing. You don't want to have like too many clothes on because then you're gonna be hot. So anyway, I'm sitting here freezing at the bus stop like this. She trying to hug me so we can have like body heat or whatever while we waiting at the bus stop. And then like the bus was taking long, so we was like, fuck it, do you just want to walk? Like, just walk around for a little bit. So we started walking around, and I just remember this night was crazy. Like, some people were coming out of a club. Like, one thing about Hollywood, it is a hot mess. So if you have never been to LA, a lot of people want to go to Hollywood, but Hollywood is just a hot mess, okay? I'ma just put it like that. It's all kind of weird. It's just all kind of weirdos. Like, we call it Holly weird, okay? Out here we call it Holly weird. Like, people who know about it, like, no, you don't want to go there. It's just a bunch of crazy people out there. And I remember while we was walking, it was a couple of incidents that happened. So the first incident that happened was this guy and his girlfriend getting into like a domestic violence type of dispute, like right in front of us. He was cussing her out, like pulling her around in her heels. She walking and she all drunk and shit, like just it was just a mess. So then we keep walking or whatever. As we walking, we see these people coming out of the club, and these dudes, a bunch of dudes, it had to been like maybe 10 dudes. They started freaking fighting. They was cussing each other out. One dude was drunk. He got knocked out. He falling. He all limp on the floor. I was just like, oh my God. And back then, YouTube was popping, and we would post like fight videos a lot on YouTube, which is like a whole nother thing I can get into. But yeah, so we used to post fight videos in there, and I really wish like at that time, like I had my camera with me so I can capture all of this, because it was just so crazy. Like Hollywood is a weird place to go. So anyway, so finally we get to like where the Kodak Theater is. So we get to the Kodak Theater, and at this point, you know, we were trying to wait for the buses, but the buses, like, we noticed like we didn't see anymore. So we find out that the buses stopped running. So mind you, we were in Hollywood, and Isis, she stayed in Inglewood. So in order for us to get there, we needed to take a bus. Like there was no other way where we were gonna get there if we didn't take the bus. So we sitting there like, dang, so what are we gonna do? So we find out that the buses, they don't start running again. I think it was like 6 in the morning or something like that. And at this time, it was about like 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2, somewhere around that time. So we just like, all right, well, whatever. So we ended up going into this, like, I think it was like a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that. So we went in there for a little bit, and you know, we tired, we don't have nowhere to go. We just like, damn, like, what the hell? Like, this has been a crazy ass night. We went to the party got shut down, police harassing these dudes thinking that they stealing. Some guy pull a gun out on this girl, like on a bus. Like, he didn't really pull it out on her, but he flashed it. Like, you know how they have it like in a belt pocket thing where they have it like that? He kind of flashed it at her, whatever. Then we go to her dad's house. Then he don't let us come in. And then we get to Hollywood, and then, I mean, we start walking around Hollywood or whatever. And then the freaking buses stop running. It was just a night. So we go into the CVS or whatever, and we just like walking around like trying to find snacks and stuff because we was both hungry. So our plan was to stay at the CVS until the buses start running again. Mind you, I'm tired. So you know how they have like that section where they have like those like where you go see like the get like your prescription or whatever, they have like those little chairs right there. So I'm sitting right there, and the entire night I felt so bad. Like Ty, that's my best friend, she started like buying stuff in the store just so we can stay in the store, because obviously, like, you know, they don't want people in there if you're not buying nothing or you're not, you know. So she would buy something and she would sit down next to me, and then we'll just like eat, and then like we'll like, I was sleeping, but I didn't sleep the whole night. I would like go to sleep for a little bit, wake up, go, and it was so difficult trying to sleep in that chair. Like I was trying to get comfortable. I was cold because it was cold in there. They had the AC on, freezing. Finally, we wake up. Both of us ended up falling asleep in the little chairs or whatever, and we finally wake up, and then Ty like, oh, let's get up, you know. But by this time, it don't even make sense to go to Ice's house now. So we get up, and it's like super early in the morning there, and we just started walking down Hollywood Boulevard, because that's the CVS that we were on. It was on Hollywood Boulevard. It was just past the Kodak Theater. So anyway, so we get out and we start walking, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that we slept in a CVS all night. Like I can't believe like all that happened. Like it was just such a crazy night. So finally we walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and then we see one of our older friends or whatever, right? He's like this guy. I used to have the biggest crush on him too. I don't want to say his name or whatever, but he was bomb and he was tall. He was just my type, you know. I like tall guys like that. But anyway, long story short, okay, so I had a crush on him, and I remember I was like, oh, there goes Whoopty Whoop. I'm not gonna say his name, but I was like, yeah, there goes Whoopty Whoop. And he saw us too, and he like, what the hell y'all doing out here? Because he was a little bit older than us. I don't remember how old he was, but I just remember he was older than us. So he was like, what the hell are y'all doing out here? And we were like, oh, we tried to explain it to him like, oh, it's been a long night. He was like, he thinking that we coming out of somebody's hotel room or doing something like we ain't got no business doing. Like, he thought it was like some stuff like that. That's why he was like tripping on us or whatever. And we told him what had happened, and he was with one of his homeboys. And so he was like, you know, y'all hungry or whatever? And we like, yeah. So it's a McDonald's. It's actually, the McDonald's is still there too, right next to Ripley's, believe it or not. So we end up going into the McDonald's or whatever, and he like treated us to breakfast. So we eating breakfast, we talking, like trying to tell him about the whole night and about like, all the crazy stuff had happened. Like, it literally felt like a movie. Like, it was such an eventful night. And it's like, even with me telling you guys this, like, it doesn't compare to like actually being there. So we eating or whatever, and then we started walking around with him in Hollywood, and we went to like this little residential area. At the time, him and my like friend, like they both smoke, I didn't smoke. So we went to like this little residential area, like by somebody like house or whatever, like in front of the like little hill. So, and they sit down and we just still talking to her, but by this time we just talking about other stuff, and then he just started smoking with her. And then finally, so he walks us to the train, right? So we get on the train, and mind you, at this time, like, I really didn't even get that much sleep. I only got like a couple of hours of sleep, and I kept waking up and going back to sleep. So he finally walks us to the train, and we talking down there or whatever, and I was loving every moment of that, because I had a crush on him. He didn't know, but I did. So we finally get on the train, and when we get on the train, me and Ty are both like really freaking tired. So we end up falling asleep on the damn train, right? So we fall asleep on the train, and we ended up riding the train to the end of the line. So we get up and we like, oh damn, like where we at? So we looking like, damn, like bitch, we done fell asleep, we done rode the whole train to the end of the line, right? So then we go back on the train, because when you get to the end of the line, they make you get off and you have to get back on. So we finally get back on or whatever, and then when we get back on, we end up falling back asleep, and we ended up riding it all the way to the other end of the line. So we like, damn, like I can't believe that we did this again. When I swear to you guys, we did this for hours. We were so damn tired. We just kept falling asleep on the train, and at one point I didn't finally get home until 1 o'clock that afternoon. Like, I would never forget this night. Like, I didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So from, I want to say, when we left him, it had to been maybe around like 8 or something like that. So from 8 to 1 o'clock we were asleep on a freaking train. Like, it was so ridiculous. Like, we couldn't believe it. And I just remember like waking up later on in the afternoon, like I have never been that tired. Like, I was so freaking tired. I was just like burnt out. I just laid out on the bed as soon as I got home. And then the funny thing about it is, like, my family, nobody even knew like what was going on. They was just like, oh, she's back. They probably thought I was at my friend's house. I don't even know what I told them to go to that party. But but yeah, so I get home and I was just so tired. But yeah, you guys, that is the time that I was freaking homeless and stranded in Hollywood. Like, oh my gosh. But I must say, that was a lot of fun. I feel like I had a lot more fun when I was younger, because I was just doing a lot of crazy stuff. Like, and I had like a lot more friends. A lot of the friends that I had in high school, we not really cool no more. Just a lot of drama. Y'all know how that go. But anyways, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time and my crazy life. I don't know. If you guys like videos like this and you want me to do more story times, definitely leave a comment down below. And if you have ever had a crazy experience like this, please tell me all about it in the comments, because I would love to know all the tea. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.